Shalom. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Kal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to the sincere elect out there, man. You know, the elect out there, man. Just want to get into a quick topic regarding these women, you know, taking these abortions, doing these abortions, man, and killing the babies in the stomach, man, you know. And just the general attitude of these women that are out here, you know, they're not looking to get with a man and, you know, bear him seed. You know, they just want to go out there and be whores, man. You know, they want to fuck as many dicks as they can. You know, a lot of them are getting these different contraceptives, which are actually fucking them up. They might be taking the morning after pills and all that, morning after pills, taking these implants, you know. And let me make sure this is all off. Yeah, flight mode. You know, taking these implants so they can just be as much of a whore they can be, man. Just getting many dicks as they can in a short space of time that they can, man. Okay, because that's what they believe is the right thing to do. Okay, and then, you know, they'll make it seem like childbirth is a thing that you think about in a much later time. That's that Edomite way of thinking, man. Really, that's not an ancient way. That's not the way of our people. Okay. In the ancient days, women would basically, if they weren't having children, man, but especially a man child, you know, they'd feel like killing themselves, man. That shit was one of the most important things. That is one of the most important duties for a woman, if not the most important, to bear seed. Okay. Now this is Genesis chapter 30 verse 1. Now let's take an example of you know, one of our the wives of one of our forefathers, man. Right? It says, and this is verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and as her sister was Leah, who was already bearing him children at this point. And now you got to bear in mind as well, now in this history of our forefathers, Jacob actually loved Rachel more. Okay, but he got with Leah first, and then he got with Rachel, man. He worked for Laban for, I think it was a total of 14 years, 7 years to each sister. Okay, and you know, it's funny because the Lord ended up giving Leah the firstborns of the children, man. You know. Now it says, and when Rachel saw that she spared Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister. Now why did she envy her sister? Because she was bearing him children, man. So she was feeling all fucked up. You know, women these days, they're not feeling fucked up because they bear no children, man. They're thinking about, you know, their careers, thinking about all different manner of bullshit, man. Okay. It says, and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. So she's getting emotional, man. She's like, look, you know, plant that seed in me, and I want to have a child for you, man. Otherwise, I'm gonna kill myself. That's the kind of spirit she was in, man. Okay, that's that ancient, you know, spirit of a woman, man. It says, and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And it said, am I in God's stead, who have withheld from thee the fruit of thy womb? So he was getting pissed off. He's like, what the hell are you talking about, woman? You know what I mean? It's like, you think it's my decision, you know, the seed, man, that the child is of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, man. Okay? The Lord closes and opens up the womb. And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. So, hey, that's how committed women were to the childbearing in those days, man. His own wife was telling him, you know, going on to her maid, man. Okay, one of her servants going on to her maid to bear him children in her stead, man. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God have judged me, and have also heard my voice, and have given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. And when Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. So this is like they're going back and forth, trying to, bear these children, man. Just showing you the example of how important it was in those days for a woman to do that, in comparison to now. Now I'm gonna go. What I was meditating on is these contraceptive implants that these women are getting. I don't think it's too far-fetched for Esau to incorporate that into the RFID chip implant, man. The mark of the beast spoken of in Revelation 13. That's one way that with that technology that he can market that, because the scriptures say that the main thing is with the RFID chip, it's a transactional thing. No man might buy or sell, okay? But you got to also remember it's also an identification chip. They've been saying all kind of articles that are coming out and information coming out about the chip, man. They're looking at, having all your ID stored on there for medical purposes. If you got certain illnesses to secrete certain things into the body. So I don't see that too far-fetched, man. Secreting something to make women basically barren, man. And then Esau wants to be the Most High. So that's why I don't see it too far-fetched, man. Because he wants to be in control of everything, okay, including of who has children and who not, man. And these women a lot of these women are gonna take the chip, man. Okay, they're ready to take the chip. Because a lot of these women are gonna get destroyed, man. Let me get another example. You know what? Don't know where the scripture is off the top of my head. Let me get the scripture. 27. It's 3 to 5. This is Psalms 127, verse. I'll start from 3. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is His reward. So it's the Lord that decides who bears children, man. Who conceives, man, and who doesn't. Okay, so He opens up the womb. Now what I was trying to get was the account of Hannah, which I'll find in a bit, okay, which was another example of the mind state of an ancient woman, man, and how the mind state of how a woman's mind state should be, and how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. It says, as arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. The more children that a man has, the happier he is, man. That's a blessing. It's like you got like a bunch of boys. Yeah, that's gonna go on to lead more seed and grow, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. And that's one way that our forefather Jacob, which name changed to Israel, that's how now we've got the nation of Israel today, man, because it was prophesied that we were gonna be like the stars of heaven, like the sands of the sea, innumerable. It says, happy is the man that have his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with their enemies in the gate. So, hey, man, it's actually a blessing from Yahweh Shai to have many children, man. Nowadays, people see it like, as if it's like a curse. They're in that spirit of Esau, Esau got all this money. He only has like one child, man. Then men get vasectomies, and the women, fuck up their ovaries and shit, man. This man Esau's trying to he causes death. He's got all this, everything's causing disease around us. He's trying to destroy life as it is, man. The reproductive system was set up for a reason, man, from Yahweh Shai, so that men can carry on, man, so they can pass seed, and they shall, because we're going to go into the kingdom of Israel, man, the kingdom of heaven that's going to be set up on the earth, man. Okay, and we're going to have many children, man, in the kingdom of heaven. And let me try and find that. Okay. Right. So let me start from verse 5. This is 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 5. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion. As he's talking about Elkanah, right? Because he had two wives, Peninnah and Hannah. Peninnah was basically giving him sons, but Hannah was barren. And it says, but unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb. So, you know, Elkanah was still looking after Hannah. You know, he still loved her. He was giving her the portion that she needed. But the Lord had shut up her womb, man. Okay, so she was probably feeling all kinds of fucked up. Now it says, and her adversary also perverted her sore, to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb. So the other wife, you know, where he says the adversary was provoking her soul, man. You know. Now it doesn't say who the adversary was, but she was basically getting ridiculed for it, man. You know, I'll say that much. Now it says, and as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Right? So it says, so she provoked her. Probably talking about the other wife, man. Well, it is talking about the other wife. You know? Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Lord, and she was in bitterness of soul and prayed unto the Lord and wept sore. So she was really fucked up, man. You know, she was getting ridiculed because she wasn't bearing fruit. Nowadays, women congregate together. You know, you tell them that you're gonna get pregnant, or you're thinking about having a baby. They'll curse each other out, man. Oh, you gotta think. Oh, you gotta. Is he ready? Is he even the man? Is he the one? You know, they be questioning the man. You know, bitch, are you ready? You know, are you ready to look after the children, man? Do what you gotta do, man. You know, a lot of these women are fucking immature, man. Esau likes to push that whole thing about, you know, women are more mature than men. You know, growing up in their teenagehood. No, man. Nah. No, that's not the case. Now it says, and she vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man child. Bear in mind, it wasn't a woman child, because a man carries the seed. So it's much more prevalent, important in a sense, to carry on the lineage. She says, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. Right? So she vowed that vow. That's how important it was, man. She vowed that vow unto Yahweh Baal Shemi Shai, man. For that man child, man. Okay? And it will go on and say later on that the man child actually that was born was Samuel, man. Okay, which was a great prophet. That's why it's in the book of Samuel. So that's an example of the mindset of these women, man. Okay? In the ancient world, man, compared to now. These women are all kind of fucked up. They're not trying to do one of their primary attributes, which is to bear seed, man. To nurture it and to have that baby, man. Now they see a baby like a fashion accessory. You know? Or they wait until they're trying to do this career thing. And then sometimes the Lord messes them up for that, man. You're doing all this and you get to a certain age and you can't have children no more. Because a lot of these women, these handmaids, these young women, like if you take Mary as an example with Joseph, she was a young woman, man. Ilama. That's what it means, a young maid. You know, they were bearing children young, man. And that's how it was, man. A lot of these young women now, they don't know what the fuck the hell they're doing. They're just out here whoring, man. Sucking as much dick as they can, man. Taking those implants, taking them pills, messing their body up, messing their mind up. They're through. And when this chip gets out there, you know, they're ready to take that chip, man. So into the system, so bowing down to Esau's ways. You know, that's why we need the Lord to come back and to give us salvation, man. Okay? To make these women right as well, man. To make the whole nation of Israel right, man. The men and the women. and that's going to be done through the elect, man. You know, the elect of the nation of Israel. Anyway, I'm gonna close it off there. You know, I hope that's been edifying. You know, all praises to Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom.